Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Coming up on the program this morning, Nigeria Women's Super Six will begin today. That's the quest to determine the teams that will represent Nigeria at the CAF Champions League later this year. Also on the program, Kelechi Iheanacho scored his 7th goal in 10 games for Leicester City to book a ticket for the final of the FA Cup. It's the first time they are doing that in 52 years. And of course, the big news coming out this morning is the fact that the Super League, they've announced a Super League, which will be top European clubs like likes of Manchester United and Real Madrid and all that have signed up to actually participate in that Super Six. And that's just hours before UEFA is going to announce some of the reforms they will be putting out when it comes to European football. We'll talk more about that. But this morning, we're starting with tennis. Absolutely spectacular performance coming from Stefano Tsitsipas. So he's a 1,000 Masters champion right now, going into the French Open. I think he'll be one of those that will contend. We know that Roger Federer will be taking part at French Open. Okay, we'll leave tennis and straight to motor sports, talking about racing. Well, it was a chaotic one, but Max Verstappen somehow, he did not crumble at all. He took it and he won the Italian Grand Prix ahead of course, who else? Lewis Hamilton. It was all about Lewis Hamilton going into the race after what he did in Bahrain. And so it was a favorite to win it. But somehow at Imola, it was Max Verstappen who won the chaotic race. A lot of drivers actually crashed during the race, including Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, 2 races will be happening in the USA 2022. Of course, the Austin, Texas Grand Prix and the Miami Grand Prix. So the Americans will have a lot to look forward to in Formula One next year. We'll leave the Formula One finally now and quickly go to the NBA and what's happening there. Okay, we'll just take a look at some of the results. Surprising ones, you would say, but we'll take a look at some of the results coming from the NBA last night and early hours of this morning before we pick our key games. Our key game, just one, which is the Nets and the Heat. Of course, you know the reason for that. The Indiana Pacers and Atlanta Hawks, it was 117 and 129. That's how it ended. And of course, for the Hawks, it was Clint Capella who had 25 points and 24. And Trae Young had 34 points and 11 rebounds to help the Atlanta Hawks power past the Indiana Pacers. Bogdan Bogdanovic and Kevin Hunter contributed 23 each for the Hawks. And that's why they've won 8 of 10 games and are actually 7-6 under interim coach Nate McMillan. Okay. The other one is the Knicks and the New Orleans Pelicans. For the New York Knicks, New Orleans Pelicans, anytime you have Zion Williamson, you know what he can actually produce. He had 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists and 2 steals. But that just wasn't enough for them to be able to get the victory over the New York Knicks, because you have Derrick Rose scoring a season high of 23 points for the Knicks. I mean, they were in midst of their longest winning streak since 2013-2014 season. They're actually eyeing a playoffs for the first time since 2013. That game went into overtime at Madison Square. You have Reggie Bullock nailing a 3-pointer for the Knicks with just 2.3 seconds remaining for a regulation time. And of course, they outscored the home team. For the Nets and the Heat, we'll come back to that game much later because Kevin Durant had just 4 minutes in that game before he left. He was injured. He couldn't continue. For the Blazers and the Hornets, it was 101 and 109. And the game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Raptors was 106 and 112. And Timberwolves and the LA Clippers 105 and 124. And the Sacramento Kings and Dallas Mavericks, that was another game, another buzzer hitting game that ended in favor, of course, of the Sacramento Kings. Shannon beating the Mavs 121 and 107. Okay, now the game of the moment, I'm talking about the game between Miami Heat and the Brooklyn Nets. Here you've seen pictures of starting with Kevin Durant, who started the game just 4 minutes. He was out, and Bam Adebayo was the key player right there, especially when he had that buzzer win. But Bam, of course, he was supposed to there was supposed to be a timeout, but he had another idea, and he took a look at this scenario, and of course he had to have that buzzer winning shot, and he ended up with 21 points, 15 rebounds for the Heat, for a trade by 6 points in the final minutes of the game before finishing the game on a 12-2 run. That's the buzzer beating shots that he had right there. He was free because they didn't have much defense, and that's the reaction coming from other players. For Goran Dragic, just scored 18 points. Kendra Nunn had 17, and Trevor Ariza had 15 points for the Miami. Yeah, Eric Spoelstra, of course, a happy man this morning, saying that he looked like, he looked over the bench, they had a high contact, and Bam just had to take that shot, and they got Jimmy Butler. I mean, the last time when they lost on Friday, yes, they lost to Minnesota Timberwolves. He said that the Heat were soft. He did not play this game. I mean, this is his 16th game he's actually missing this season. He didn't play it, but the Heat were really strong against the Brooklyn Nets, who didn't have the full complement of most of their players, because Kevin Durant, who started, got out after 4 minutes. James Harden is still injured. Kyrie Irving, yes, he was in the game, but he just wasn't enough for them because he had 20 points for the Nets. Landry Shamet was another player who had good numbers, 30 points on the night, but then it just wasn't enough for them because this particular team somehow happens to have played with as many as how many players? I mean, they've had like 57, 57 games this season that they played. You have just only one player, Harris, who happened to have appeared in most of all the games, while the others, because of injury and all that, Coach Steve Nash keep changing most of the players. And for Kevin Durant, we just hope that he will be better, because he said he had left side contusion. That's the problem he's having, just like I saw. But later today, we'll find out if he will be fit for the games, because he missed 23 games this season before he returned from injury. Right now, we'll see what's going to happen much later for Kevin Durant, if he's going to be out for a while, or if just for 2 games he will be out. Well, let's take a listen to the coach of Miami Heat now, Eric Spoelstra, talking about this game. And of course, Bam Adebayo had to make that buzzer winning shot, because last time he did that was when he was still in high school. That's like 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, of course. I mean, the reaction from the bench, you know what that means when you're having that kind of buzzer winning shot. The good thing is, I mean, it got in. If not, it would have been a big problem for Bam Adebayo. All right, I will not be doing all the talking alone this morning. I've got Tolu Olorunmotemi right here in the studio. Tolu, good morning. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I didn't sing your name, right?
You didn't sing it right. You said, you give me that dance
okay,
and sing
like...
along. and that's how to do it. But good morning. It's good to be here, Cecilia. Great weekend in sport. I enjoyed every bit of the news I've heard this weekend. Even the one you think I did not enjoy.
Okay.
I love it.
You love all of them?
Yes, I love all of them. And it's good to see Bam Adebayo doing that.
Yeah,
for
I was happy for him.
Bam, Jimmy Butler have been the linchpin for Miami Heat so far this season, pushing them as hard as they can. I think as well in the playoffs last season as well. So to see him score that buzzer-beating final points to hand Miami Heat the win was super, super exciting. Look at the reaction from the bench.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Everything. And this is the guy this is your rebound and assist king.
Yeah.
All of a sudden scoring a buzzer beater to win the game for you in such a crucial moment. So I think that was great. I love the fact that he got that.
Yeah.
That's another win on the count for Miami Heat, and let's see how far they can go with that. Of course, they are depleted. They were hoping that Victor Oladipo can be in the squad and do a whole lot more, but he's injured again. Yeah. Hopefully, he can join sometime as the season progresses. But that shot,
I mean,
what a
it's
shot.
Crazy. It's crazy. Okay, quickly, just a few seconds. Let's take a look at the top performers. You have Trae Young, who got a very good one, 34, 5 and 11. Zion Williamson had 11, had 34, 9 and 5, just 1 short of having a triple-double on the night, though he was on the losing side. And of course, Julius Randle, I mean, that guy, whenever he's on court, is going to put up some monster performance. 33, 5 and 10. And of course, Terry Rozier completed that for Charlotte Hornets, 34, 8 and 10. All right, after this short break, we'll be talking about the Super Six. All right, I still have Tolu right here in the studio. Yes, we're talking about the Super Six. It's starting today at Ijebu-Ode. Yes, we didn't expect this. We wanted a full season. But trust CAF, when you don't come out with, fixtures, formalities, and everything you want to do at the beginning of the season, it's always hard for most of these leagues to catch up. Ghana had to send their, last year's representative and all that. And of course, they were even regretting they should have followed the way of Nigeria, but Nigeria didn't want to go that route. They wanted a very competitive league, and of course, that's why you're having the top 6 playing in Super 6, so the top 2 would definitely represent Nigeria at the CAF Champions League for women. Why is it so hard to say CAF Champions League? Okay, because it's new anyway. But let's take a look at the fixtures where he reacted. Those team. I mean, he was behind the scene. He was talking about irregular suspects and all that. Yes, they are all here, but Nassau Amazons, they're not here. Okay, this is what we have: Edo Queens and Delta Queens, 2 p.m. They are starting that. Bayelsa Queens and Sunshine Queens will play at 4 p.m. and Rivers Angels and FC Robo will also be playing at the same time. Yes, they have 3 pitches around that Ijebu-Ode, but 2 will be used. I'm not sure the 3rd one will be used. But this is what is looking like for today, how they are going to start. So for you, yeah, Super 6, something for us to enjoy. We wanted a straight full season.
Yeah.
But
would have loved that, but
didn't want that to happen somehow.
The NWFL needed to catch up with the calendar, and that's one of the bane of soccer in Africa so far, because you just cannot plan ahead as well as you want to. So you have to chop and change midway through the season. You have to find a way to fit our transfer windows, the European transfer market as well. And it just becomes a lot of a squabble that we do not like. Now the NWFL had to halt the season midway through to have these. We will like the fact that there is a tournament like this going on to come up with the top 2 representatives, but it meant that National Amazons are not here. Usually they are one of the usual suspects. You would expect that they will be here at this time of the season, but slowly,
very slow.
Now they are paying for that because they are not here, and it will hurt them so much because this is where they are supposed to be. There, you have Bayelsa Queens, you have Sunshine Queens, you have Rivers Angels. I mean, these are the usual teams that National Amazons compete against every year, and all of a sudden they're not here. So, but we still like the fact that you have FC Robo in there. It tells you something that the hard work they've been putting into building that team for a few years now is finally paying off. Of course, we've seen them, get some of the best talents in Nigeria. Asisat Oshuala comes to mind, Rashida Ajibade comes to mind, but look at the team as a whole now. In the Super 6, this is where the big boys play, and they will be so pleased with how the season has progressed up until this point. Well, the Super 6 as a whole, of course, we've been seeing a lot more goals in the women's game this season. I can only expect a lot more fireworks. Of course, you have some of the best teams here, so top quality football is expected as well. And let's see, hopefully we do not have the usual suspect winning again. Maybe we can have a new name winning, but let's see how it pans out. Of course, there's a bigger prize at stake, and it's the CAF Women's Champions League. You mentioned it is strange to the mouth because it's not something we're used to talking about. But yeah, thank you very much, CAF, for finally doing this. And let's see what happens. Hopefully we can get the best team out of Nigeria to represent when it kicks off later in the year.
We can wait for that. I mean, talking about, if you're talking about the usual suspects and the teams you're expecting, you're looking at Rivers Angels, who won the league last season. I know there was no league last season because of pandemic and all that, but you can still say the last time they had the league, it was Rivers Angels. Then Bayelsa Queens, another team to look at because of the way they started the season, and they were top of the league before, the Super 6 was announced. Edo Queens, of course, they've been here and there, and we win some, lose some. FC Robo, it's on that team. They never lost on their home ground here. Well, there was a game we're waiting for. We're waiting for Edo Queens to actually come to Lagos and see what they can do, but that just didn't happen. But yeah, we're still happy that Super 6 is starting today. But let's listen to, if you have this clip from Aisha Fallow, they're talking about the improvement she wants to see, because we'll always be having the Super 4. But right now you're having 2 teams, joining the Super 4, and it's going to be a Super 6, and hopefully we can have, another fantastic tournament.
Well, it won't be anything less than the Super 4. There's going to be an improvement because there are many more clubs, 2 more clubs joining in this Super playoff now. And it's going to be an interesting game. There's a motivation, and the motivation is I want to go, our club wants to be in the inaugural Champions League for women in Africa. So that's a motivation for the clubs to be, very, very competitive. So in terms of the quality of the game, we are going to see something different. And the ambience will be a lot more, and it will be an improvement on what we see in Super 4 that we have played before. It's going to be truly a festival of the best of women's football in Nigeria, and by extension, the best of women's football in Africa. So I expect the clubs to start preparing for the competition ahead of them, because it's the best of the best amongst the best. So you must be on top of your game for you to be able to make any headway in this competition. And we will be there to give them all the support. We will be there to make sure that the logistics for this game are of, top notch, that the ambience is truly befitting of a cup final and a season final for women's club in Nigeria.
We're waiting for that, just starting today. And so by the end of the week, we should be able to know who will be representing Nigeria at the CAF Champions League. We'll leave that and quickly talk about the Super Six. Yes, before we talk Super League, before we talk about the Super League, which some clubs are really not happy about that, some coaches are not happy about it, but the big clubs are signing up for it. So it simply means once the big clubs are saying yes, so Super League may just come to stay. Well, you guys can talk to us on our Twitter handle. Yes, the FA Cup was this weekend. Manchester City were knocked out of the FA Cup. They were looking at quadruple. I remember Pep Guardiola telling his players to just stay focused. But somehow, most of the players were dreaming of the quadruple, not thinking of what they're doing right now. So talk to us about the FA Cup. Will Leicester City win it? Chelsea and Leicester City will be playing in the final. Of course, the Super Six, where you have FC Robo Baeza, Rivers Angels, who is going to get this one. It's going to be tough because the top six of the league, the very best of the league, are playing a Super Six to determine the teams that will be representing Nigeria at the CAF Champions League. Talk to us about that also on our Twitter handle, at channels_sports. And also, of course, the Premier League, Manchester United have actually cut the lead to 8 points. And United fans are dreaming right now that they can actually win the league, thinking Pep will focus on Champions League and they will stumble a little bit and United will win the league. How possible is that? Talk to us on our Twitter handle what you think about that. Now, talking about the Super League. Yes, you guys can talk to us about the Super League. What does this mean for everyone? I mean, people actually thinking, why would this come up at this time? Because we know UEFA are supposed to have a vote of some of the reforms that will be taking place today in European football. But then on Sunday, it was announced that there is a Super League, right, coming up with the big clubs across Europe.
The Big 12, they call themselves.
The Big 12, okay.
Yeah, and there are 3 other clubs who are yet to be revealed, and we expect 5 more to join. Look, I call this a disruption. We don't like it, right? We don't like the fact that football as we know it will cease to exist. We don't like the fact that UEFA Champions League nights that we've become accustomed to every Tuesdays and Wednesdays might suddenly just die. It won't die.
You will still have that.
Oh, yeah, you might just have Leicester, West Ham, Everton, Crystal Palace, Real Betis playing the UEFA Champions League, and that is not glamorous. Let us be very sincere with ourselves.
These are the teams already signed up already. You have Arsenal, you have Chelsea, you have Liverpool, you have Manchester City, you have Manchester United and Tottenham. And these are the big clubs. And if you go to Italy, you have AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Juventus, the top 3 signing up. And La Liga, of course, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid.
And Barcelona.
And Barcelona. Yeah. So these are the clubs. And the format is going to be taken, for those that are thinking maybe it's going to take away the CAF Champions, the Champions League itself. It may not, because 20 participating clubs with 15 founding clubs and a qualifying mechanism for a further 5 teams to qualify annually based on achievement in the previous season. And also, you have another one where midweek fixtures with all participating clubs continue to compete in their respective national leagues and preserving the traditional domestic match calendar, which remains at the heart of the club game. So it's not going to affect that. And going further, an August starts with clubs participating in 2 groups of 10, playing home and away fixtures, with the top 3 in each group automatically qualifying for the quarterfinals.
I don't see how the European Super League will coexist with already running tournaments.
So let's finish what the format is going to be like. Okay, and they continue with the teams finishing 4th and 5th will then compete in a 2-legged playoff for the remaining quarterfinal positions. A 2-leg knockout format will be used to reach the final at the end of May, which will be staged as a single fixture at a neutral venue. Yeah, it can work.
It can work. Okay, I say it can work.
But the way it's been structured, it's not going to affect the national leagues or anything. That's the way it's been structured.
They intend to remain in the domestic leagues, which makes sense. Domestic league games are played basically over the weekends. It is only at a crucial crunch time of the year that we have some midweek fixtures. In between those periods, look, Italy has 1 cup to play for. La Liga will have the Copa del Rey. In England, we have the League Cup and we have the FA Cup. It is realistically impossible for a top 6 team playing in the League Cup, the FA Cup, the UEFA Champions League, or the Europa League, as it were, the Premier League, and then add the European Super League. Something must give. Something must give. And I think that what these guys are looking at doing is making more money for themselves, which is perfectly understandable, because football is no longer just about passion and entertainment. It is a global business, and they need to make more money. You win the UEFA Champions League now, what you get in revenue for winning the UEFA Champions League is about 150 million euros at most. For playing the UEFA Super League, or the European Super League as they call it, just participating in alone can get you about 450 million euros. That is more than 3 times what you get for just winning. And that is way more. Now, it comes with a lot more games, because there are 20 teams that are participating in the Champions League. The maximum number of games you play over a spread of 9 months is 13 games. In the European Super League, you play a minimum of 19 games. That is, if these games, almost 30 games, depending on the number of teams that participate eventually, which means there are much more games to be played. You cannot be in the European Super League and still be in the UEFA Champions League. It cannot coexist. They intend to play during the midweeks, right? The UEFA Champions League starts on September. The group stage ends in December. The knockout stage starts in February and ends in when?
May.
April. Then the final in May. How exactly do you want to fit the UEFA Champions League and Europa League and European Super League? It cannot coexist. So I think what this Big 12 will do will be to exist that the UEFA Champions League or the UEFA competitions all together. And that is where it becomes a challenge and a competition for UEFA. They are threatening, oh, we're going to kick them out of the domestic league. It is complete BS. It can't happen. Why do I say that? The top 6 teams need, the Premier League needs the top 6 teams to get their broadcasting TV. Without Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, the revenue will drop drastically.
What is
La Liga without Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid? So you threaten to kick these guys out of the league, fine, they will walk away, and you will lose money. So you can't kick them out. You are stuck with them. What UEFA will do is to negotiate with them. They can't kick them anymore.
So they cannot. They can't.
They need them. They are dependent on them heavily. So all that threat about kicking them out,
player, not just the club, any player that will take part.
Now, I want to watch a World Cup without Lionel Messi. Trust me.
Okay.
There's a World Cup, no Pogba, no Messi, no Mbappe, no Neymar, no... What am I watching? That's not a World Cup, it's a high school game. I won't watch that also. You can't, and again, I think it infringes the rights of the players, because they didn't choose to be in that sport. So
it's the clubs that decide to do that.
Or UEFA can even sanction the players for being a part of it. I think
that's what they're saying. I mean, any player, that's what they're saying. Yeah, that's what they're saying. They said any player, they've won at any player at all involved in that breakaway league.
It's a threat.
I mean, they will not be playing in the World Cup nor European Championships. That's what they're saying.
I wait for UEFA to make a decision today, because they can't do that. They'll be toiling with a lawsuit that they can't handle. They don't. Once these guys pull out, they are broke. All that money they are sitting on right now.
So what they need to do is to negotiate
with them. And what I think will happen is, sooner rather than later, the European Super League will happen. What UEFA will offer is more money to the top 12 teams. Maybe they will scrap the financial fair play rule that has helped to keep these clubs in check for a while, because they're going to have to dance to their tune. If they don't, these guys will walk away.
Well, this is becoming interesting, because, you know, when the news came up, I was like, okay, why didn't they just wait? Because UEFA were going to sign off on their own expanded, restructured Champions League. That's today. That's when they will do that. Why didn't they just wait? Why didn't they just wait for that restructured Champions League and plans that they're doing before the Super League will be?
Because in that a rebranded Champions League will still not give us the glamour that we
or expanded.
It still wouldn't give us. Look, what has happened since the Euros became a 24-team tournament? Yeah, we had Wales and Iceland popping up. But really, a few more money, but then it lost the glamour. The UEFA Champions League doesn't really become interesting until the knockout stages anymore. And who qualified? Of the 16 teams that made it into the quarterfinals,
it's still the same.
Round 16 this year, Porto was the exception. The top 15 came from the top 5 leagues.
Which is
still the same thing.
So you think there's no difference between 32 and 36?
No difference.
And 10 matches
it will only become, what will have more is a lot more games.
Games, 10.
a bit more money,
stage.
a bit more money because they will not get significantly more.
Okay.
And I think it stinks of hypocrisy as well.
All
because a few years ago, 10, 12 years ago, the Premier League was proposing playing a 39th league game outside of England. A few years ago, FIFA Club World Cup began. And they have been looking for ways to structure it so that it can become a competition on its own. Just 2 years ago, La Liga proposed playing league games outside of Spain. Currently, they play their European Supercopa España in Saudi Arabia. The same with Italy. So what are you guys saying?
Okay, so Super League shouldn't hold, right?
What are they saying?
Okay, there's too many games for players.
They can't stop it.
I think what I'm thinking, maybe the international breaks will be the time where the Super League
Everybody
will be
wants
playing
more
because
money,
most of the players won't want to play for.
Everybody wants more money, but they somehow think that the clubs who are who generate the most money in global football, all this money that trickles down to the smaller clubs and everything in the whole ecosystem, majority of it is generated by these 12 clubs.
Okay. All right, what are we saying? Okay.
What are we saying?
More about this.
What are we
wait
saying?
for UEFA's decision. I mean, they will be meeting today, talk about the expanded and the reforms and the restructured Champions League. That's what happened today. We'll leave that and not really leaving that. Some coaches have been reacting. Brendan Rodgers said, okay, I want to focus on the Leicester game and all that just happened. And, of course, you're having Ralph Hasenhuttl talking about the coach of Southampton, not really happy about the decision because he feels that most clubs and even the leagues itself, the FA Cup and the federations, each of these managers of each of these top 5 leagues, some of them are not even happy about the decisions of some of these clubs. Kelechi Iheanacho can't just stop scoring. He got the goal for Leicester City to beat Southampton, and they are in the final of the FA Cup. And that's actually his 7th goal in the past 10 games. So Kelechi is the man of the moments, and Chelsea and Leicester in the final.
15 goals in all competitions this season.
Great.
He has finally woken up. I always thought he could, and he should do better.
Was he sleeping?
Yeah, he was sleeping.
He just had to step up a little bit.
Come on, it took him
too long. He needed to trigger something.
Were really patient.
Yeah, with him.
Because another team would have sold them off.
Or maybe because he was, if you check, he wasn't playing. He wasn't starting games. If you're having a player not starting games and not scoring goal, you won't blame him.
There is a reason
but now he's been given the opportunity.
But there was a reason he wasn't starting games.
Check Heavy Bands and you have Madison, right? Yeah. You have those 2 guys were injured, and that's why he was being paired with Jamie Vardy, and that paid off. If you didn't have injuries in the squad, I'm sure Brendan Rodgers wouldn't do that pairing. That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. And how many years has it taken us, though?
Was it us or was it the coach?
For him to get to this point.
You're blaming him or you're blaming the coach the fact that he wasn't playing?
I blame him. If you're not playing, it's on you. Look, I understand that at times when a coach signs you, a different one comes in and they don't like you. That's different. But then you're there. You might as well prove it to this new manager that, look, you're going to have to play me one way or the other. Look, he got the chance. He took the chance. Has he been getting chances before? Yes.
But he wasn't much. He get like 5 minutes into the end of the game.
Did he take them like he has taken this one? That's the difference. So kudos to him now for finally taking the chances. Whatever it is he's enjoying right now, it's all him. It's not because the manager believed in him. It's because the manager gave him a chance and they took it with both hands. Look, I think being left out of the AFCON squad last year got to him in 2019. Probably got to him because that was the lowest point, for him not to be there. This is a boy who was tipped to be the future, and he's missing out on AFCON. So maybe that got to him because it changed everything.
He had to improve his game.
He knew that he had to improve. Come on.
Yeah.
So, again, I'll give the kudos, all of it, 100% to Kelechi Iheanacho. Whatever he's getting now, the accolades, he deserves it. Yeah. He took his chance after he finally got some. So, yeah,
hard work pays up.
Hard work pays up. 15 goals, and that's great. I think the last time any Nigerian scored as much as 15 goals was Odion Ighalo in 5-6 years ago when it was at Watford. Yeah, and he scored 17 that season.
Especially in the Premier League.
I think Iheanacho is on course to break that record, and it will be very good to see if he does it.
Yeah, it will also be great for him to win the FA Cup.
Yeah, I want him to win the FA Cup.
Yeah, you can smile, but I mean, Nigerians.
I don't care about Chelsea. I care about Iheanacho and winning the trophy.
Before we wrap up and look at the papers, we still have games that were played on Sunday. Just a quick one, how Manchester United actually closed the gap on Manchester City. They won 3-1 against Burnley. And, of course, you have Mason Greenwood scoring in that one, scored 2 goals, and Edison Cavani finished it up in the 3-1. Arsenal had to wait 97th minute to rescue a point against Fulham. They were playing at the Emirates. Yes, it ended 1-0.
And I need to say, Josh Maja, you proved me wrong.
you need to. You need to. I mean, got that penalty at the
Josh
beginning.
Maja proved me wrong. He has come into the Premier League and he has done well enough.
It's okay.
Eggs in my face, I'll take that.
Yeah. I love that. I was waiting for you to actually, you know, that humble.
Oh, come on, I'm a man of my words.
Yeah, you've eaten it. Great one. Okay, before we look at there are games for today. Leeds and Liverpool will be in action today. What Leeds did to Manchester City last week, the previous weekend, Liverpool should watch out for that. They were playing 10 players, yeah, but then they still won against Manchester City. So Liverpool, you have to be very careful. But the good thing is they're not playing at Anfield. It's away from home, so Liverpool may just be better.
Well, Liverpool are finding their feet again, and Champions League places is at stake. I don't know if that exists. I don't know if I should even talk about Champions League places anymore. But yeah, it's at stake, and they need to get as much points as they can. And if there's a place they need to win to prove to themselves that they're still good enough, it's here. It's here
because they can't get out of that. Because right now it's looking like they may not just win Champions League. Just win and see how you can. How many games you have left? About 6.
Yeah,
so that's kind of
6 games.
All right, Ejike, I'll take some tweet for a look at the papers. Ejike says, I love my Niger brothers, but I'm a fan of Chelsea FC. It's a win-win for me at the FA Cup.
It can't be a win-win if Leicester is losing and your Niger brothers are losing.
Okay, Tom, the Wenger boys are talking tough this morning. I mean, the so-called Super League clubs are under FIFA football associations who are against the whole idea of a Super League. Is it telling us that the clubs are independent of FIFA, UEFA, FAs, and even the league bodies expect better and a more objective analysis? I mean, he's talking to you about it when you said that these people will lose. When they pull out, they will lose. I think that's what he's reacting to.
Do you want me to react to that?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So, quickly.
30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. So, first things first, yes, they are under these FAs, but they have made these decisions, and the honest truth is, FIFA, UEFA, the FAs can choose to ban them from not playing in the domestic leagues.
That's what they would do.
That is what they are threatening to do.
Yeah, that's what they said they would do.
Said, if they go ahead to do that, they will be the ones losing. They need to find an amicable ground and not create factions.
Okay.
The way it's going, we might have a factional world football body.
Okay, all right. Let's leave it at that because there's a whole lot of arguments, right? We'll wait. Valentino Pops, okay, I really believe VAR is against Arsenal. If not, how can you explain this? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I saw that. It's not against Arsenal. VAR is just there. It happens. Pat says on paper it's possible for Man United to catch up with Man City. We have 6 matches left, and you need City to lose 3 matches, and United win all their games to win the league. But I don't think this is possible now. But reducing the point is a good one from Man U. Yeah, it's been optimistic.
Just enjoy it, man.
Enjoy
second place. That's what's
yeah, Valentino also went for that. I strongly believe the VAR is against us now, 5th. And okay, that's why I had to take that picture and snap to us and everything. Okay, Tom is just everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Law Alpha is the one I'll take before I wrap up the tweet. I'm so pleased with Kelechi Iheanacho's resurgence and assisting his club to improve in the league and qualify for FA Cup final. It's mind-blogging that Enyimba, who have a match in Algeria Wednesday this week, are still in about. Okay. Yeah, they're expected to leave today. Don't worry, these guys just have a way of doing things. Don't worry, miracles always happen. They perform.
But they're supposed to leave for Algeria.
No, that's what he's thinking. Come on, but they definitely leave today.
they're flying.
They're flying. Don't worry, it's not a road trip. The papers are Sporting Sun, or South Sporting Sun here. Unstoppable Iheanacho leads forces to FA Cup final after 52 years. As Onacho got it over Belgium goal record means it could have got that many goals they scored. I've lost count. 30.
I think I'm not sure he has hit
33.
Has he hit 30 already?
I think so. I think
wow, what a season is having.
He's having a spectacular season so far. He's having a spectacular season. I think I lost count at 30. It's the time I was trying to catch up with all these goals because every week he kept scoring.
Yeah, he kept scoring. He's been banging in consistently. And fortunately, he came to Nigeria 2 games, 2 goals. Yeah. I didn't see that coming, but he did. And that's the confidence that we need. I think those 2 goals equally motivate him to just keep going wherever he represents Nigeria.
35 games, 30 goals, and 2 assists. That's brilliant.
2 assists? Well.
30
He's scoring the goals. That's what
brilliant.
Matters.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Sporting Life is the next one here. Sporting Life, Nketiah, yeah, he was the one who rescues a point for Arsenal. Arsenal, Okay, what's their position right now? Still 9th. Okay, after 32 games. Eze orders must call Nigeria. If that's the Qatar 2022 World Cup, that's Eagles crew vows not to beg anyone. Selectors in touch with several kids, injured players not forgotten. Okay, I think we have a squad. I don't know why we're still looking for kids everywhere. It says several kids. Okay.
Why not just get the best legs for the future?
Oh, really? Okay, I think we need to focus on our league to give hope to players playing right here to know that they can actually break into the national team.
We have Musa
except you are
playing here
exceptional.
now.
Except you are exceptional. That's when you make it into the squad, not when you've been rejected.
I agree with you, but then the level of competition is important as well.
Yeah, it's very high right now.
Why not get the best players in? I mean, it's nice to see that there are guys like Alex Iwobi and well, what's this boy in Rangers? I've forgotten his name now. And they are not guaranteed automatic starts. It's good to see that you can win the league title in Turkey and not even get a call up to the Super Eagles. Look, I like competition. I'm all up for competition.
Simi is banging in goals
for Crotone, and he's not even getting an invite yet. I like competition. It keeps the other guys who are in there on their toes. They know that.
So why are you still looking for several kids? Why are you still talking to several kids? I mean, I'm quoting words on the paper.
Well,
kids.
I don't know about kids.
Okay. Complete Sports will be the last one this morning before we leave the studio. Chukwueze bags a brace in the win against Villarreal. I mean, we want him to be scoring. That's what is important. Maybe man of the match, playing very well, but then get on the score sheet, and that's when it's important. That's why everyone is celebrating Kelechi Iheanacho this morning.
Senior man.
Yeah, senior man, Kels. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, before that, Tolu, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, Cecilia. It's a pleasure to discuss sports again.
All right. Thank you for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a great day.